Gunpla, the plastic addiction that will never leave you. Isn't it great? Gunpla has gone a long way from the 1980s to now, so let's go back to look at Gundam's 1 in 250 scale Diorama set line. This was briefly covered in my Gunpla early history video, self-promo, check it out. But with that out the way, let's go more in depth and give this Gunpla line their own time to shine. So let's hop in. The Diorama sets were released in 1981, only a year after the first Gunpla release. They were unique, coming with multiple models, with the runners being from 2 to 3 colors, a detailed base, metal rod for airborne posing, small plastic bit to cover the hole in the middle, and background depicting iconic scenes from the anime. This line had 4 entries, A through D, with all of them coming out the same year. First, or A, is Ramba Ral's attack. This came with a goof using the heat rod, a zaku with a bazooka, and a gun tank, all in 1 in 250 scale. With a desert background and floor, the base has nice detail to it and you can tell what it is. The models don't peg into the floor except for the one hole for the metal rod, so you have some freedom on positioning, but if you want them to stay, you're gonna need some glue. It's clear Bandai wanted you to make specific scenarios with the kits, somewhat matching the box arts, and on that, each kit has 2 different box arts. Both being the same inside, they represent the 2 scenarios you can attempt to make, but since they don't peg into the ground, you do you, go crazy. The kits are in solid colors with a very limited color separation. This one comes in a green for the zaku, and dark blue and blue for the goof and gun tank, so painting and glue is also required, which isn't a surprise for the time period. Now that's not everything. These kits also have little mascot figures. Very teeny guys, they look about 1 in 550 scale. They're static pose, solid, single color. They usually come in 2 pieces they have to glue together. This one comes with 2, one of the goof holding the heat saber, and another of the zaku commander with machine gun, meant to be painted as chart. Overall, it's simple and gives you a cute little diorama. It has a metal rod which has a hole it can peg into on the base and the goof, and it allows you to do mid-air poses. With this, it looks like now it's lunging at the gun tank, or you can have him up close ready to use the heat rod. Now to B, we have Downfall in Jaburo, depicting Char in a Zagok raiding the Federation base in Jaburo. This kit comes with again a zaku, but now in a kneeling position holding a zaku machine gun, a Jim in a firing position that can swap from a beam spray gun or beam saber, and it's holding a shield. Then Char's Zagok, with its hands forward, leaning, looking like it threw out its back or something. It can use the metal rod to depict a jumping attack. The backdrop's the entrance to a cave, with the plastic ground having a nice soil texture with a ravine at the end. As for the minis, we have a Jim holding the beam spray gun and shield, Char's Zagok commander, and a regular Zagok. For the runners, 2 out of the 3 of them are red for the Zagok and the Jim, then we have 1 green one comprising of the zaku. On to C, the duel in Texas, depicting the battle in Texas colony against Amuro and Char in the Gundam and Gelgoog. The Gundam's holding its saber with its shield up front, while the Gelgoog's dual handling the beam naga. It also comes with a gun cannon holding its beam rifle, which is odd. While White Base was at Texas colony, the gun cannon wasn't there with Amuro fighting the Gelgoog. A more appropriate mobile suit would have been the Gyeon. They probably just wanted to have all of White Base in this line somehow, so I understand the inclusion. The runners come in red and white, which isn't too bad. The gun cannon and Gelgoog are mostly red, and the Gundam's mostly white, so painting wouldn't be too much of a pain for this one. As for minis, we have all 3, a gun cannon, Gundam with bazooka and shield, then a regular Gelgoog with shield and beam naga. Or you can just paint it red and make it Char's. A lot less work there, let's be honest. Then, on to the final entry, we have Set D, the Battle of Baoa Qu, coming with the Gundam, again, but holding a beam rifle now, and the Zeong with a Rickdom holding a bazooka. The runners come in a white for mostly the Gundam, then a blue and purple making the Zeong and Dom. As for the mascot figures, we have a Gundam holding the beam saber, a Rickdom holding the heat rod, and we don't have one of the Zeong, sadly. As for the rest of the stuff, there's a nice space station base. I really love the detail to just all the bases. They look really nice. Yeah, you're gonna need to do a little touch-up work with paint, but just the detail you get is actually pretty surprising. Now, from all the kits, this is technically the most restrictive. Due to the Zeong not having legs, it has to use the metal rod. And while you can put holes in the base or the Zeong, the base comes with only one pre-made hole. And there you have it, all 4 entries coming out within a single year. If acquired all, you'll end up with 1 Goof, Gun Tank, Gun Cannon, Dom/Rick Dom, Zeong, Charles Gelgoog, and Zagok, with 2 Gundams and Zakus, then many minifigures. With all the kits, you could recreate better scenes from the anime, the Goof vs White Base, Zagok vs Gundam, White Base vs Grunts. Overall, it's a cool, neat idea. This came out rather early in Gunpla's life, starting at 1981, with the first Gunpla coming out at 1980. It's a rather distinct change of pace, and still, to this day, it's rather interesting. But now, for a fun side note, while we don't get more, we do have some more kits in 1 in 250 scale that could be used alongside this. The Irapla line came out in 1983 and are in 1 in 250 scale. Funny enough, there's no new entries here. They only have 4, Gundam, Zaku, Char-Zaku, then the Goof. But in 1981, we do get a 1 in 144 plus a 1 in 250 scale ball. Then in 82, we get a 1 in 550 Zackrello, which is awesome, love me this guy, but it comes with 2 additional minifigures. Both being in 250 scale, you get another Zackrello and the Gundam plus B parts, which looks cool. And let's take a second to appreciate the smaller Zackrello, cause look at this thing's adorable. And on the G parts, there is a G armor with Gundam in 1 in 250 scale. And for an odd one, in the mobile suit variation line, they did have a 1 in 250 scale perfect Zeong. Sadly, while there would be other types of kits, we wouldn't get anything in 1 in 250 scale. The mobile armors are usually in 1 in 550, with the warships being 2400 or 1200, since even in 250 they still would be huge. So, you may be asking, why highlight this line? Is there something special to reveal at the end? No, it piqued my fancy. Not because there's a Zagok or anything, maybe, but it's just important to highlight the past, to see how far Gunpla has changed, and the weird lines they took a crack at. I doubt anything like this would happen again. For those who are interested in dioramas, they would probably go through the process of making a base themselves. And we do have certain Gunpla stands that assist in dynamic poses and can hold multiple of them, but I do like the idea of baby's first diorama, and something about smaller kits and even the mascot versions is just really nice. I just like the small, simple look. Bandai does have really nice gachapon toys from time to time, like the Zagok ones, which I really like. But in general, I'm just a fan of miniatures, so having Gunpla versions of them is a cool niche Bandai hasn't touched on. While we do have SD kits, and they are small and cute, and I actually am a big fan of the SD kits, well, some of them, we haven't gotten really anything small. Things like Gundam artifacts, which are like 5.5 centimeter guys, are nice, but miniatures open the door to a lot of things, like warships and mobile armors being properly scaled. Like, come on, okay, I'll be straight with you guys. I just want my Zackrello to be scaled properly with my other mobile suits. But on these small figures, it does remind me of Warhammer Epic, or Legios Imperialis, which are even smaller miniatures made for 40k. They're like 1/4 the size, so you could do large-scale battles with large numbers and huge units without taking up too much space. Hey everyone, post-editing Sloth here. To tell you, while working on this video, Bandai announced the Gundam Assemble, which are Gundam miniatures. About 2 inches tall, they come in a runner, unpainted, and they're tied to a game. And we have mobile suits from different AUs, and even warships like the Archangel. Sadly, it's not to scale, but this could mean we can get mobile armors in the future. Not too much info is given, but we do have a Kapul, so that's nice. Anywho, just wanted to put this in here because the timing was funny. But back to your video. The Diorama line, an interesting series of old Gunpla. While you could maybe find these secondhand, best bet is conventions, you might have to pay a pretty penny for them. What else is to say? Dioramas are cool, and they're one of the many ceilings Gunpla has. Either be straight out the box or full damn Warzone, Gunpla stops with your imagination, and that's why we all love it. Anywho, off topic here, so let's end it, before I get more sidetracked. Thank you all for watching. Special thanks for those who support the channel. May clean nub marks bless your kits. Till next time, Slothcakes here. You can leave, but I appreciate you staying till the very end.